जनशलाकया निर्मितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरुवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। भूतैर्महद्भिर्जन्मा पुरो विभु निर्मायशेते यदमुषु पुरुषा भुङ्क्ते गुणान् षोडश षोडशात्मका सोऽलङ्कृशिष्ट भगवान् वचांसि मे। श्रीकृष्ण शरणं शरणागतं कथामृतं सततपीतम् भक्तिवेदान्तमार्गपन्थनं सर्वलोकऋषिदेव जन्मप्रसन्नं सर्वलोकऋषिदेव जन्मप्रसन्नं। Hare Krishna, dear Prabhus and Madhajis. So welcome to the morning Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam class. So we'll just go through the translations of the verses we covered yesterday in relation to Vyāsadeva expressing his despondency and Nārada Muni asking questions to Vyāsadeva. So these are first canto, chapter 5, text number 2. Addressing Vyāsadeva, the son of Parashara, Narada inquired, "Are you satisfied by identifying with the body or the mind as objects of self-realization?" So the main problem is with the misidentification. Even in the field of religiosity, we are trying to solve the problems of matter and mind. However, these by constitution cannot be solved. Bhautikanam cha bhavanam, everything material will deteriorate. Narada Muni goes on to say, your inquiries were full and your studies were also well fulfilled. And there is no doubt that you have prepared a great, wonderful work, the Mahabharata, which is full of all kinds of Vedic sequences elaborately explained. You have fully delineated the subject of impersonal Brahman as well as the knowledge derived therefrom. Why should you be despondent in spite of all this, thinking that you are undone, my dear Prabhu? So we see a tinge of sarcasm in Narada Muni's voice as he's speaking to Vyāsadeva. And now Srila Vyāsadeva is going to reply. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayam mudiraye. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Vyāsavaca. Astyeva me sarvamidam triyoktam tathapi natma paritushyate me tanmoolam avyaktamagādabodham prachamahe tvatma bhavatma bhutam. Translation. Srila Vyāsadeva said, all you have said about me is perfectly correct. Despite all this, I am not pacified. I therefore question you about the root cause of my dissatisfaction, for you are a man of unlimited knowledge due to your being the offspring of one Brahma who is self-born without mundane father and mother. Would anyone like to read the paper, please?
I can read it. Can I?
Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
In the material world, everyone is engrossed with the idea of identifying the body or the mind with the self. As such, all knowledge disseminated in the material world is related either with the body or with the mind, and that is the root cause of all despondencies. This is not always detected, even though one may be the greatest erudite scholar in materialistic knowledge. It is good, therefore, to approach a personality like Narada to solve the root cause of all despondencies. Why Narada should be approached is explained below. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So in the paper, Srila Prabhupada is giving of what is coming in Narad Muni's instructions. Firstly, we have to understand that all knowledge that is directed towards solving the material problems and the problems of mind, which is material, will be defeated. Moga Asha, Moga Karmano, Moga Jnana, Vichetasaha, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Because we are anti-matter, we are spirit. So how come all problems can be solved by directing it at material? It cannot be. And Vyasadeva's problem was that he tried to encourage people to resolve and attract them by directing the Vedas towards material means. And quite often we also become guilty of this, is that in name of preaching, in name of outreach, we try to do something which is called bridging programs. Why? We say, oh, up to blunt Krishna consciousness does not work. It actually scares people off. I know one example. This is going back 25 years. One Australian girl used to come to North Sydney Temple. And when she first came and she saw the arti going on, and she was utterly, mystified. Not only mystified, but she had this sense of, superiority, that what are these stupid people doing? They are singing and dancing in front of dolls. So to her, the deities were dolls. However, she again came the following week, again came the following week, and the week after. And after some time, she became a devotee, even though her first impression was this. The first impression that an ignorant person but innocent person has actually does not matter. We forget that the deities are Krishna himself, even though to a mundane person they may appear as dolls. However, the deities have full potency to bestow their merciful glance upon the audience. Our task is not to think that people, what will they think? This is where we take false ownership and become egoistic. That, oh, we know better. Actually, no. It is Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, it is the deities, it is the Harinam Sankirtan, which will change the heart of people, not us trying to immune them against what we think may be misconstrued ideas when we introduce them to Krishna consciousness. Therefore, I personally, don't believe in this bridging thing. When you read Lilamrita, Srila Prabhupada never did bridging exercises. He just gave in full force of Krishna consciousness, because actually that's what people are looking for. They don't know it, but they are looking for that. There may be some jolts or culture shocks here and there, but that is a good thing, because that will make them question, that will make them dwell on things. Here we see that Vyāsadeva has approached Narad Muni with his dilemma as to the root cause of his despondency. Now, let's look at word to word. Vyasa Uvacha said, Asti, there is eva, certainly, me, mine, sarvam, all, idam, this, vaya, by you, uktam, uttered, tatapi, and yet, na, not, atma, self, paritushyate, does specify. So constantly we have to ask this question to ourselves that paritushyate, are we thoroughly satisfied? Me, unto me, tat, of which, moolam, root. And if not, then what is the root cause of my dissatisfaction? These are the primary questions. Avyaktam, undetected, agadabodham, the man of unlimited knowledge. So we may not be able to diagnose this, avyaktam. It may go undetected as to why we are unsatisfied. However, a spiritual master is agada bodham, the man of unlimited knowledge, and they are properly able to diagnose our situation and give a befitting solution. Prichamahe, to inquire. Our task is only to approach spiritual master, save and inquire. Tva, onto you. Atma bhava, self-born. Atma bhutam, offspring. Any questions or comments on this particular verse? Okay, let's move to the next one. Text number 6. Savai bhavam ved samasta guhyam upasito yat purusha purana paravaresho manasaiva vishvam srijat avat atiti gunair asangaha. Translation: My Lord, everything that is mysterious is known to you because you worship the creator and destroyer of the material world and the maintainer of the spiritual world, the original personality of Godhead, who is transcendental to the three modes of material nature. Anyone would like to read the purport, please?
Yes, Prabhuji, I can read.
Please, Mataji.
A person who is 100% engaged in the service of the Lord is the emblem of all knowledge. Such a devotee of the Lord in full perfection of devotion service is also perfect by the qualification of the personality of Godhead. As such, the eightfold perfections of mystic power, Asta-siddhi, constitute very little of his godly opulence. A devotee like Narada can act wonderfully by his spiritual perfection, which every individual is trying to attain. Sri Nārada is a 100% perfect living being, although not equal to the personality of Godhead. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you so much. So in this paper, we see here Sri Prabhupada mentioning this fact that a devotee is actually 100% perfect, like Narada Muni is. So a devotee ends up having all the good qualities of the demigods in Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam, it is stated. And another thing we have to remember that because a devotee, through love and devotion, is in constant touch with Krishna, he actually can perceive within our hearts, literally, and therefore, in one sense, he enters our hearts and knows what's actually in our hearts. At the start of the second chapter, Sudha Goswami prays, and he describes Shukadeva Goswami as Tam Sarva Bhuta Hridayam Munimanatosmi, that Muni, Shukadeva Goswami, Tam Sarva Bhuta Hridayam, can enter into the hearts of all living entities. Now, what is this? We know that it is Krishna who enters into the hearts of all living entities as Paramatma. So how can Shukadeva Goswami do that? Shukadeva Goswami can do that because he's connected with Krishna. Because of his connection with Krishna, it is not that he directly, physically enters. he knows the heart of the devotee because he knows the heart of the person or the devotee because he is connected with the Paramatma who is in the heart of that person. So similarly, a spiritual master who is always connected with Krishna can know our heart because he is connected with the Paramatma in our heart. Any questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. What does this Ashtasiddhi mean? Eightfold perfections of mystic power.
Sorry, bro, I couldn't hear you.
I was asking, what does Ashtasiddhi mean in this purport? Eightfold perfections of mystic power?
Yes, so there is eightfold mystic perfections. So those who practice yoga, ultimately they get these perfections, which can be becoming lighter than air, heavier than mountain, and so and so. So basically, a devotee does not have to separately endeavor for this. A devotee automatically has these eightfold mystic perfections of yoga, and which is a byproduct of devotional service. I remember one, Gujarati bhajan by Nashim Mehta, where it is mentioned that Harina Janato Mukti na mange janam janam avtarare nitya seva nitya kirtan uchcho nirakpa Nanda Kumarare. And then he goes on to say that Ashtasiddhi tene angani ubhi mukti chitemni dasire, that the eightfold perfection of mystic yoga, which is anima and mahima, garima, lagima, prapti, prakamya, ishitva, vishitva. Radhapriya Mataji has put on the chat, as I mentioned, becoming smaller than the atom, bigger than the mountain, and so and so. Devotee automatically has it. Meaning the devotee does not practice this. He's not bothered by our eightfold mystic process, but he will have it. The example given is that Ambrish Maharaj, he was a pure devotee of the Lord, and Durvasa Muni was the perfect mystic. Now imagine Durvasa Muni could travel fast into all the planets, Brahmaloka, Shivaloka, even Vaikuntha. But yet, at the end of the day, he had to come and fall at the feet of Ambrish Maharaj to beg for forgiveness. Now, who is a greater mystic? Ambrish Maharaj, a devotee, or Durvasa Muni, who had protected mysticism in yoga and had all these siddhis? So that's what it basically means, Prabhu. Is that clear?
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you.
Sorry, would anyone like to recite text number 7?
I can try, Prabhuji.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm just trying to open. Sorry, it's not going. Tvamparyatanarka iva trilokam antascharo vayurivatma sakshi paravare brahmani dharmato vrate snatasya meyan nyumalam vichakshar.
Maji, please read the translation and the purport.
Translation. Like the sun, your goodness can travel everywhere in the 3 worlds, and like the air, you can penetrate the internal region of everyone. As such, you are as good as the all-pervasive Supersoul. Please, therefore, find out the deficiency in me. Despite my being absorbed in transcendence under disciplinary regulations and vows. Purport. Transcendental realization, pious activities, worshipping the deities, charity, mercifulness, non-violence, and studying the scriptures under strict disciplinary regulations are always helpful. Bhaktivedanta purports ki jai. Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So, in this verse, it's directly mentioned that personalities like Narad Muni can enter into the hearts of the living entities, and thus they're able to diagnose the problems and give a prescriptive solution to the problems. Let's look at word to word. So Vyāsadeva is saying to Narad Muni, Tvam, your goodness, Paryajan, traveling, Arkaha, the sun, Eva, like. So like the sun, rays are dissipated throughout the universe. The traveling of a pure devotee is compared like that. Three lokam, the three worlds, antahacharaha, can penetrate into everyone's heart. Vayu eva, as good as the all-pervading air. Atma, self-realized. Sakshi, witness. Paravare, in the matter of cause and effect. Brahmani, in the absolute. Dharmataha, under disciplinary regulation. Vratai, in vow. Snatasya, having been absorbed in. May, mind. Nunam, deficiency. Alam, clearly. Vichakshva, search out. So Vyāsadeva is here definitely telling that although I have been engaged in following the path of absolute, I have been under strict discipline, I have followed the vows, I have been absorbed in meditation, but still there is nunam, deficiency in me, and vichakshva, you please search out and let me know what that deficiency is. So this is the duty of the disciple, to approach spiritual master like this. And now Narad Muni is going to reply. Sri Nārada vacha bhavatānudita prāyam yasho bhagavato malam yenaivaso natushyeta manyetat darshanam khilam. Translation. Sri Nārada said, you have not actually broadcast the sublime and spotless glories of the personality of Godhead. That philosophy which does not satisfy the transcendental senses of the Lord is considered worthless. Would anyone like to read the purport, please?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, I can.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Yeah. The eternal relation of an individual soul with Supreme Soul personality of Godhead is constitutionally one of being the eternal servitor of the eternal Master. The Lord has expanded himself as living beings in order to accept loving service from them, and this alone can satisfy both the Lord and the living beings. Such a scholar as Vyāsadeva has completed many expansions of Vedic literatures, ending with the Vedanta philosophy, but none of them have been written directly glorifying the personality of Godhead. Dry philosophical speculations, even on the transcendental subject of the absolute, have very little attraction without directly dealing with the glorification of the Lord. The personality of Godhead is the last word in the transcendental realization. The absolute realized as impersonal Brahman or localized Supersoul, Paramatma, is less productive of transcendental bliss than the supreme personal realization of his glories. The compiler of the Vedanta Darshana is Vyāsadeva himself, yet he is troubled, although he is the author. So what sort of transcendental bliss can be derived by the readers and listeners of Vedanta, which is not explained directly by Vyāsadeva, the author? Herein arises the necessity of explaining Vedanta Sutra in the form of Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam by the self-named author. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. So this verses from text number 8 to text number 22, roughly about 14 verses or so, form the crux of Krishna conscious philosophy. And if we can memorize these verses, know the word to word, and meditate on Srila Prabhupada's papers, then we will become convinced beyond any doubt of this process of Krishna consciousness, because this is what was directly instructed by Narad Muni to Vyāsadeva, who was despondent and dejected. So if Vyāsadeva could be again restored to his original condition of full satisfaction and happiness in devotional service, then what to speak of us? And as I previously mentioned, when I read these verses, in when I was going to university in my travels, then I became thoroughly convinced, not only convinced, but I felt joyful that how wonderful Krishna consciousness is, that it is simple yet sublime, that devotional service is directed only towards Krishna. Anything else is actually diversion. And these verses will save us from diversions, even in the field of religion. And Prabhupada's purports are wonderful. My Guru Maharaj used to say that Srila Prabhupada even brought purity in the field of religion. Otherwise, field of religion everywhere is polluted with either impersonal philosophy or motivation based on individual selfish greed, or by just mere sense of material enjoyment. People want to use religion for enjoyment. However, these verses completely cut these three things off and fully establish that only Krishna consciousness, pure devotional service to Krishna can make us happy. And Prabhupada's purports are wonderful. Let's look at word to word. Sri Nārada Uvacha said, Bhavata, by you, Anudita Prayam, almost not praised, Yashaha, glories, Bhagavataha, of the personality of Godhead. So immediately, without wasting any time, Narad Muni directly in the first two lines tells Vyāsadeva of the problem, that bhavata anuditaha, that your good self, anuditata prayam, almost not praised, yashaha means glorious, Bhagavata, of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that you have not actually glorified the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, in your literatures repeatedly and consistently. Amalam, because glorification of the Supreme Lord is amalam. Mala means it is contaminated. Amalam means it is uncontaminated. And only uncontaminated can cleanse the contaminated. So only Krishna Katha and Krishna's names and Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam have the power to purify our impious life. He goes on to say, Yena, by which eva, certainly, aso, he, the personality of Godhead, na, does not, tushyate, be pleased, manye, I think, tat, that, darshanam, philosophy, khilam, inferior. That philosophy which does not please the senses of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is actually worthless. Some people speak very high philosophy. Some people speak so highly, we can't even understand what they're speaking. I remember in Porbandar, when I was there with my Guru Maharaj, then after the program, one person came and said, we had another sadhu come 2 weeks ago, and he spoke very highly. He spoke such high philosophy. And my Guru Maharaj asked him, okay, let us know, what did he speak? He said, no, he spoke so high philosophy, we could not understand. What is the use of such high philosophy that we cannot understand and that does not please Supreme Lord Krishna and goes over everyone's head? Srila Prabhupada's message Srila Prabhupada's writing is sublime. It can be easily understood if we abide by this process of hearing, listening, and chanting. So we'll leave it there. Does anyone have any questions?
I have question, but Prabhuji, maybe ask tomorrow. So it was from
Ye-
yesterday class, so it's
Yes, Mataji, you can ask question now and we'll answer tomorrow.
I have this question because in yesterday's class, Narad Muni came and Vyāsadeva has written. I can maybe say in Hindi better. So written like a whatever scriptures, and he wasn't happy, and then he improved. He's going to write Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. But like when we say something, okay, writing, he can improve by writing another book. But when we say something and any bad words or something, how can we improve like a vacho, if we say any words to any person, and is there any way we can improve that as well? The way Vyāsadeva has written Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. That was my question from yesterday.
Sure, Mataji. Yeah, we'll look at it tomorrow. Nice question. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful Krishna conscious day. It's Ekadashi today. So constant remembrance of Krishna and reciting of these verses every day. If we can recite these 14 or so verses, it will be very nice. These verses are to be memorized, as I said. Jai Grantra Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam ki Jai, Śrīla Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, all 14 verses need to
Jai.
be memorized?
14, 1-4.
All of them?
If you can, that will be nice.
Really?
If you recite every day, you will
हाँ,
memorize.
इनको लग रहा है कि
Prabhuji, Hare
देवी
Hare
जात कहेगी हाँ भाई
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
Prabhu.
you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you.